Welcome. Welcome. Come on in. Come on in. We're finding peace together here and now. The 67th live stream in a row where we just pause for a moment, reflect, and feel peace together. Um, Robert Downey Jr. Had this quote. It's his birthday today, by the way. You might reach out to him and say happy birthday. But he had this quote that said, worry is like praying for something that you don't want. So we'll get into that in just a minute. But if there's anyone that is in your life that has worry and isn't able to do their living because they're focused on this worry, you might share this with them. Comment below. Subscribe. If this serves you, please take your human agency and act now. So, this is Robert Downey Jr. quote. Worry is like praying for something that you don't want. If thoughts are things and what we focus on becomes real, then this just makes sense. Everything about prayer that we know is also true for worry. I'm going to give you two approaches to worry. The first is one that I find very effective in the short term, and it's, hey, I'm looking at this worry thing, I'm worrying, and I ask the question, is what I'm worrying about happening now? And then I pause and I look for an answer that I can trust. Is the thing that I'm worrying about happening right this minute? Have I run out of money? Has my car broken down? Has the world collapsed? Is it happening right now? 90% of the time, the answer is no. No. No, it's not. And in the 10% that it is happening, it can go from worry to action. So if it's not happening, it makes no sense to focus my thoughts on it because it's not happening now. And if it is happening, I can address it as something real. The second tool that I use is the parts model. There's a part of me that is worrying. Where in my body or around my body do I sense this part that is worrying lives? And if I relax for just a moment, I'll notice that there's a physical sensation or a sensation that I imagine out beyond the physical body. Well, that gives us something to explore, to discover. We can ask this part, what do you want? And then just notice the response we get back. And we can know that this part of us has a positive purpose or intent. Now that might sound crazy. What possible positive purpose or intent could this part that is worrying and taking a bunch of my resources, what possible intent could be positive with that? Well, the analogy I like to use is, hey, our eyes, our fingers, our lips, our body parts all have positive intent. So our inner parts also have a positive intent. It just makes sense. Why would our resources for living set up something that didn't have a positive purpose or intent? Doesn't make sense. Now, this part may not have a good strategy for getting what it wants. Worry rarely is a good strategy, but this part is designed, has been created for its positive purpose or intent. And so, if we're grateful for it and don't try to fight it, we can pause and engage it in conversation. Say, hey, thanks for being here. What do you want? Oftentimes, our parts want safety. And that's where a process like the core transformation process comes in. We engage our parts and have them feel, be what it's like to have safety or whatever it wants. And we can allow it to experience that. Sounds kind of woo-woo, but with just a little practice, you'll notice that when the part has this positive purpose or intent and we engage it, it tells us what it wants, and we can help it get what it wants. Our body, our thinking, our emotions, our living starts to relax. So, how do we use this with purpose? Practically, I gave you two ideas. One, if you notice yourself worrying, is it happening right this very moment? And focus on this very moment. Or you can engage someone, maybe even me, with the core transformation process. And we work, explore, discover the parts that might feel more comfortable worrying instead of living. I hope this serves you. And in this moment, I just invite you to pause, to stop worrying, to start living, and notice the peace that is in, around, and throughout all. Just notice the peace that is always beyond time, beyond space, the peace now. I hope this serves you, and I'll talk with you tomorrow.